Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the new books that I've gotten in February so far. So there's a couple different ways that I received books this month. The first is I went to a really awesome used bookstore and I found a bunch that I loved. So I picked them up. I could have probably spent way more money there and bought so many more books, but I decided I needed to stay within my spending limit and I have a good stack to read. I also had my birthday this month, so I have a couple books from that. And then I also have some books that I am borrowing from other people because they're books that are on my list to read and they're ones that other people have. So without further ado, let's get started. The first stack that I want to go through is my books that I'm borrowing. The first one that I have there is The Midnight Library by Haig. This one has been on my list for a while. I've been seeing it a lot of places. My mom just read this book and she really loved it, and she wants me to read this one next so we can talk about it. So this one will be next on my to read after I finish the book I'm currently on. Next, I have Cloud Cuckoo Land. Again, this has also been on my to be read list for a while, and I am borrowing this book. I read All the Light We Cannot See, loved that book, so I thought I definitely will love this book too. So I am borrowing this one as well. So this one, again, will be towards the top of my to read list so I can give it back to its owner. Next on my list, or in my categories, is the ones that I got for my birthday. And then we'll end with the ones that I bought because that's the biggest category. First, I had one of my students brought me a book on my birthday that she really wanted me to read. I think it's one that she had at home, and so she brought me Heartland. So I'm going to read this, and she really wants me to read it to class too, so I'm gonna read it quick beforehand and see if it's something that I want to read to my class. So that was really awesome to see my kids' love of books spread to recommending books to other people. Next I have True Colors by Kristen Hanna. This is an author that I have read before. She's got a lot of books out that are really good. I've enjoyed the ones that I've read in the past. So this was one that was gifted to me for my birthday, and I'm really excited to read it. Finally, for my ones that were gifted to me for my birthday, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So I have been seeing this book everywhere. It keeps popping up for me. And when I read the synopsis of it, I thought, you know what, that seems really interesting. I really like to mix in fiction and nonfiction books. So my sister got this one for me, and she wants to read it once I'm done. So I'm very excited about that. Plus, you can't see it on here, but the cover is just amazing, and it's got like awesome texture. Love the texture of books. Once I finish reading it, it's going to look really great on my bookshelf. So, excuse me. So I'm very excited to read Atomic Habits. The thing is, I have so many books I'm very excited to read. I know it's going to take me a while because this is a really busy time of year for me. But I know I have so many good books that I am excited to read. Now let's move into the books that I bought at a used bookstore. I stayed within my spending limit that I give myself when I go to bookstores. So that's very awesome. I'm trying to think about what order I want to do this in. I think I'll start with these two. Okay, first I found a Nancy Drew book. So the blue cover, hardcover Nancy Drew books are the original published books. So I have a collection of these that Whenever I find one, I look for them at antique stores or flea markets or used bookshops, pretty much anywhere that sells used books. I look for these just to add to my collection, and as long as they're in decent condition. This one has like a little bit of wear on the spine, but that's okay. I don't need them in perfect condition. It's just something I really enjoy collecting. So I'm excited to add another one to my collection. I did also get 2 more of the Blue Cover Nancy Drew books for my birthday. Those are in the other room, so I did forget to add those to the pile. Okay, next thing I found at the bookstore is a book I want to add to my classroom. It's She Persisted Around the World. When I first saw this book come out, I thought this is something I'd really love to have in my classroom for kids to just discover, or to do as a read aloud and then have out. I think it's really important to try to bring in global voices into the classroom. So I was very excited to find this book at the used bookstore because it's been one I've been wanting to add to my classroom collection. So that one is going to make its way to my classroom very soon. Next on my stack is, I think I'll do these 2 next. So I have American Spy by Lauren Wilkinson, and this is a book that has been on my read list for a while, and so when I saw it at the bookstore, I decided to pick it up. So now I have it, and then I can read it and check it off my list. Also, a book that's been on my list, my to be read list for a while, that I haven't been able to either borrow from the library or just find in another place, is Into the Garden of Beasts by Larson. So when I saw this at the bookstore, I thought, great, it's been one that I've been wanting to read for a while. So I will check that off my list as soon as I read that. And then as I was browsing through this most beautiful bookstore, I just came across some other books that I wanted to have. The first one is The Physics of Time. So every time I walk into a bookstore, I enjoy finding books or nonfiction books about topics that I enjoy. One of the things I've really loved reading about recently is physics. So I looked at the physics section in there, and this one kind of jumped out at me, and it's all about the what is happening right now. So it's that thought of what does now really mean. So I'm very excited to mix that in with a lot of these fiction books that I have. Next, I have found an Agatha Christie book, Sad Cypress. I am a huge fan of Agatha Christie. They're just some nice, really quick reads. I love a good mystery. There's always a good twist or turn. So I was happy to find some Agatha Christie books, and this is one that I haven't read yet. Next, I just have the sleeve for it. My mom is borrowing this book right now. It's called The Bodies in the Library. Actually, we were walking through the bookstore, and my boyfriend is the one who picked up this book and said, this looks like one you'd probably like to read. I read the little blurb, and I was like, yeah, that one sounds interesting. So I added it to my ever-growing stack, and now I am excited to read it. And then finally, my last book that I picked up in the month of February is At the Water's Edge by Sarah Gruen. I really enjoyed reading a lot of her other books. So when I saw this one, I thought, I haven't read that one yet, and I will probably enjoy it. So that's why I picked up that one. So that is everything in my pile of books that I got in February through various means. I am so excited to do some reading over the next couple of months and hopefully get through this entire stack. So I will keep you updated on the progress. Thanks so much for watching.